Let's go. Let's go. What? R8RBEAR! That's right. It's your boy, Assaltante Oso, that bear you all know. Out of hibernation to entertain Raider Nation! Let's go! Oh, no crip walking right now. Whoa. Me, meow. Woo. Often imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! What? Woo! You heard me. The Raider R8RBEAR! Woo! Fired up tonight. Because we have much to discuss. Some of it good, some of it freaking terrible. Alexa, hush. Tradish! R8RBEAR Live! First comment, woo! MVP tonight on YouTube goes to the heavyweight champion of the world, Jim Van Dalen! Your gold medalist and heavyweight champion. You know, come on. Stay off the guy's lawn, okay? Or he'll turn on the sprinklers. And record it so he can laugh at you later after he's called the police, made a report against you, and sent your butt off to the pokey. We don't say police because he's older than all of us, so we say the pokey. He'll get that better. Subtle old guy shot Jim. I am too an old guy, though. Don't forget. I have grandchildren now. I've had grandchildren for, gosh, it's been a minute. Like 15 years. Yeah. No, don't start trying to figure out how old I am. Don't do that. That's rude. Second place, our silver medal goes to, as always, the most dominant silver medalist I have ever seen, Mark Vargas! That emoji-making son of a gun. Third place, my bronze medal goes to, oh, we have an upset tonight, Ramiro Cashflow Castro! John, you know, you are the Leon, and you never take L's. Because you're always just giving out losses. But Cashflow got you tonight. Like it matters, I mean. Facebook! Oh, and it gets more and more interesting by the day. It's like watching the West and the East. You know what I mean? YouTube's kind of like the West. You know, they're kind of dominating 1, 2, 3 right now. And the East is over here in Facebook, where it's just as a battle every night. Well, not every night. Justin King! DK, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Holding on to the title, as usual, there for R8RBEAR. Second place. You know, Lucky, I'm thinking about giving you the middleweight title, you know, in Facebook. That'd be pretty good. You've been busy. Speaking of the devil, Lucky Pace! I like to put that explosion on the P. Pace! Third place. Bronze medal goes to a friend of Mama Bear's and mine. And he's a hashtag daughter dad like myself. So, you know, I love the guy too. Michael Purefoy! Who probably is the best limerick writer for the Raider ever. I mean, for the R8RBEAR, ever. It's true. He writes some dingers. Never fear, the bear is here. Putting foots in foots, putting foots in fools who are far and near. See, it rhymes so well, it caught me off guard. Honorable mention to my favorite first supporter ever, Anna Diaz Rincon, who always reminds me to remind all of you that for the equivalent of $60, that's for the whole year, $60. It's $5 a month, and you can cancel at any time, but you won't want to because your subscriptions go directly to charities that we work with all over the world, and we're starting to really get our feet into Arizona now and do good things, but we'll report more of that later. Also, Pugs for Autism and early onset diabetes. We're working with so many groups right now. So God bless you all. If I entertain you, I appreciate there we go. Jim Vanderlyn. Bear! David Pell, Caliber Mount See, part of me wants to say that it's electronics failing me, but it's not. It's me failing me. All right, so let's go. We have two new linebackers, guys. Two new linebackers. We brought in Jackson Mitchell and more recently Deshaun White. So let's go over Jackson Mitchell just for a moment, okay? All right, here we go. Jackson Mitchell was originally signed as an undrafted free agent by the Carolina Panthers out of UConn in May. He was released by the Panthers on just this last Friday. A native of Richfield, Connecticut, Mitchell led UConn in tackles as a senior, racking up 113 total. That's nice. Total stops, averaging 9.4 tackles per game. Damn. The 19th most FSB. He has also finished with 7 tackles for loss and a sack, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and 1 interception. He posted 5 games with double-digit tackles. He finished his career ranked 3rd on UConn's all-time list with 438 total tackles in 4 seasons. Okay, now that's one of those college stats that you can take with you. See, if it says he got, X amount of sacks, that doesn't mean anything. He could become a better sack master when he gets to the NFL or become worse and just realize that at the college level he could beat offensive linemen, but not, on delayed blitzes and fighting through the gap, things like that. Because, most linebackers, especially the ones we're looking at that are going to be more middle interior, strong side linebackers coming through gaps to try to stop running backs. But having said all that, the stat you want to take from this is right here. He finished his career ranked 3rd on UConn's all-time list with 438 total tackles in 4 seasons. Now, I say, he's 3rd on the list. So you say, well, he's not 1st, he's not 2nd, he's 3rd, Okay, try to remember, guys, that's over decades of thousands of players that played the position like he did, and he's the 3rd best they ever produced. That means he hustles to the ball. He's got spirit, probably real coachable. I like this pickup because obviously the kind of linebacker we need is that. We don't really need a rush the quarterback kind of guy because we've already got the defensive line for that. All right, here we go. Mr. Deshaun White, who played in the UFL and Michigan Panthers earlier this year, originally entered the NFL as a free agent with the Buffalo Bills in 2023. Oh, wow, so he's still real young. A native of North Richland Hills, Texas, White played 5 years at Oklahoma and was a 4-year starter for the Sooners. Okay. He played 63 games with 49 starts, totaling 259 tackles, 126 of those solo. That's excellent. 19.5 tackles for a loss, 5.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles recovered. He earned all Big 12 honorable mention honors in 2022. White will wear the jersey number 47. In a corresponding transaction, the Raiders waived injured wide receiver Jeff Foreman. That's no big deal. Who will revert to the reserve injured list should he clear waivers, and he probably will. And then if he does, we would just bring him back. Don't forget that's in addition to the kid that we brought in, Dax Milne. Dax Milne is one of the wide receivers we just brought in. Don't expect him to blow your mind. He's not going to blow your mind. He is Hunter Renfrow light. And I mean that as a compliment to Hunter Renfrow. I think this kid is a prototype Hunter Renfrow. Same height, same build, same type of build. He's not like rock chiseled, just like we know Hunter Renfrow was and he had a dad bod. And this guy doesn't have a dad bod, but he's not all chiseled up. So he's going to bring it. I've already read a lot about Dax Milne. He was bad at the combine and the shelter cones and things like that. Where you go stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, and then they tell you to sprint. He was so at that. Not a very good score. And then his yards after the catch is very average. So what his skill is he gets off the line, he makes good footwork, he sheds defensive backs long enough that if the quarterback sees that and hits him in rhythm when he sheds, he's almost unstoppable because he has super footwork, will really play well with Gardner Minshew in the sense of Gardner will see him as almost like a valve. Because Gardner's obviously, we've seen this, he's pretty aggressive. He wants to throw those little ones and get yards, but if there's a deep route there, he's throwing it. And the throw we saw to Trey Tucker, now, some of you may have already heard about this, but Devontae Adams has been mentoring Trey Tucker, and Trey Tucker has been a cool guy about it. He doesn't mind, because how some players, they would feel embarrassed or lesser than the teacher if they're implied that they're the student. He doesn't care. He was very cool about it, said, Devontae Adams has really helped me a lot. He's given me a lot of verbal, cues on what to look for when defensive backs come up. When they do this, maybe take them inside. When they do this, maybe take them outside. Because you can still run the same route. You just have to get by them off the line without the defensive back getting a good jam. Pushing him in his chest right as the ball snapped to slow down the play getting to its fruition and allowing the quarterback to throw the ball. So I thought that was really cool that he spoke out about Devontae Adams being a lot of help to him. But more importantly, there was a catch that, and most of you probably remember it because it's not like Trey caught 12 balls, but there was one early ball that Gardner Minshew threw up to him, and even the announcers were saying if Gardner threw that out in front of him just a little bit more, that's a touchdown. Because the way he caught it, it was a basket catch, but he had to slow down to make the basket catch. If he had to run underneath at full speed and make that basket catch, he would have taken his steps right with him because he had the guy beat pretty bad. It wasn't, embarrassing, but he had at least 2 steps, maybe 3 on this guy that was behind him. So, again, if that ball's thrown better, Now, that's not me saying that AOC would have thrown it better. Who knows? But I'm going to bring some more insight into why the quarterback decision that was made. I think that you might find this interesting, and I'll be brief, and then if you want to come back, you can ask me questions about it or tell me if you disagree or not. I don't mind. But here it is. I think AP decided to go with Gardner Minshew, but I think he went with him for more than just the fact that he's a veteran, more than just the fact that he was assimilating the offense a little faster and was just playing with more confidence. If you watched AOC, the shoulders shrug, his head drops down. It's like watching a bass hound. Those dogs have the real droopy drop. They just always look like they're sad because they're always going like that. You know what I mean? He always looks like he's doing that, and I'm not accusing him of that. I think he's a cool guy. I think he's fired up. He goes out there and he plays hard, but he has resting, lazy, scared guy face. I don't know what else to call it. Put foots in him because that was my guy, and I wanted him to win it. But I understand why he didn't win it more and more the more you hear coming out from the press. For example, they wanted to be able to utilize the parts of Luke Getsy's offense that attack with the deep pass. And from what I could tell, and I think maybe you guys probably saw it too, AOC wasn't as willing to challenge the defense deep as Gardner Minshew was. Gardner Minshew seemed, and this is the only thing I give Gardner Minshew over AOC. The only thing. The only thing is Gardner Minshew was not afraid. He was throwing those deep balls. We saw him. Every time Gardner was out there, he was finding the deep guy. And I got to admit, I kind of like that because if he'll throw it 3 times and you got a guy like AOC that, might throw it once, I like the idea of getting a lot of opportunities with Gardner Minshew. So it's a two-fail sword. It helps it helps Antonio Pierce coach in that he's getting the guy that has the higher likelihood of protecting his job by not turning the ball over and scoring touchdowns. But more importantly, he's going to be aggressive. He's going to make teams, play it honest. The defense can't just come up real close in this little bubble shell and attack our run game all day because they think the passing game can't beat them. Gardner Minshew puts that little bit of fear in you already. If you're other teams that have been watching this preseason, you saw what we all saw. Gardner Minshew is not afraid to throw the long ball if it's there. So I kind of give it to him in that way. In that way, I understand. Not only do I understand the decision to go with AOC instead of, Not only do I understand more the energy and the decision to go with Gardner instead of AOC as the starter, it makes more sense when you see that. Because not only is he more aggressive, but we all know that aggression, if it works out, it turns into touchdowns and more often than not wins, which is, in effect, 2 reasons why a coach would want him over AOC. Plus, what if AOC had started slow, we pull him out week 4, and then Gardner Minshew just kills it and makes it into the playoffs for us? See, that's going to make AP look like he made the wrong decision about the quarterback and that Gardner Minshew came in and saved him. That doesn't make the coach look good. But if he makes the decision before the season starts, like he has, goes with Gardner, and he plays well right out of the gate, then, yeah, it's the right decision. Hi, Vicky Ginn. Mike Henderson, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Armando Medrano in the house. Raiders! And I'm going to give you my own sort of state of the Raiders. I am going to give you that. When we get to 8:30, so about 15 more minutes, I'm going to give you guys my state of the Raiders. This is how I see them at every position, and then we'll talk about what we feel like is going to happen throughout the season. I have an adjustment to something I said about their win-loss record, and we'll do that in just a few minutes. Steeler Val, what's up, love? Welcome to the show. Hi, Tommy. Good to see you, little buddy. Asylum 77, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Hey, Bear, do you see a scenario where another team releases a quarterback and we pick them up? Yeah, there has been rumors of that because one of the teams in the league, maybe 2, has a quarterback or 2 that is going to end up in free agency. I think that might be why the Raiders have kind of waited. And I'm not positive which team it's going to be, but I get the sense that it might be a division rival because they seem to be waiting to release the guy so that he can't just latch right onto another team and immediately help. He can latch onto another team, but he doesn't have time to become the one at quarterback, because he just can't assimilate the offense fast enough. Whereas, unless every time I say this, I get yelled at, so... But that is, unless Justin Fields, who we just saw struggling with the Steelers, but played really well in Luke Getsy's offense the final year. Now, I know we all know that Justin Fields has, for the most part, been a bust. And he has. I'll say that out loud. But he could actually be the better, best option available for us, especially if it happens relatively quickly here. So if Pittsburgh releases Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, you got to kind of take a look. I mean, to me, you got to take a look, especially if it's Justin Fields, because he hits the ground running, literally. The guy's got the legs. All the fan base, not me. I don't care if it's a running quarterback or not. I don't follow that whole energy. I mean, it seems like the whole fan base is just, yes, we have just got to get a guy that's mobile. Why? And then they say, well, because they win. Okay, show me the mobile quarterback that's winning. Is Lamar Jackson, does he have a ring? Kyler Murray, does he have a ring? The kid Hurts with the Eagles, does he have a ring? I can keep going. No. And none of them are really even close. If you think about it, they're not. Every year the season starts with people talking about Lamar Jackson's going to maybe put it all together this year. Oh, the Ravens are... It just goes to show you how hard it is. It just should show you as fans how hard it really is to put a complete squad together that can really win and then keep it together, avoid injuries and free agency, and win a ring. It's hard, guys. Every season that the Ravens don't get to the Super Bowl, they lose pieces on the team that they can't pay because they can't justify paying them because they were a part of the losing. You see what I'm saying? So you let them go because you can't, run it back. We all know that phrase, right? Oh, we didn't win the Super Bowl, but we were super close. We should run it back. Why? You're the team that lost. You didn't have what it took when you got there. Why would you have what it takes the following year when you probably have less than you had the year you didn't win? Because you're going to have guys that get injured the following year that were probably healthy the previous year and so on. Shut up. I put foots in that argument. Jesse Parker, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show, my good friend in the house. Already ordered my daughter's book. Appreciate you, bro. That was so good of you. Blaine Bowser Trabowza, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. He's got one of my favorite names ever. At 48, my oldest son is almost as old as you are. Well, yeah, he is. I'm a little bit older than 48 though. Doc Raider, what's up, Doc? Welcome to the show. I hope you're getting a good dinner tonight, Doc. I appreciate that, Vic, again. Speaking of grandpa, I've been a grandpa for about a week now. Nice. I have a beautiful granddaughter. Maybe a new member of Raider Nation. Her dad's a Cowboy fan. See how that goes. Wow, right on, Armando. Congratulations and poo-poo that Dallas fan. Just remember, every time there's a birthday for the baby, you just send Raider clothes. Just keep sending Raider clothes. You wear them down. James Garrison, what's up, Raider Bear? One of these days, I'm going to be first on here and get me a gold medal. Right on, brother. I appreciate that. Kevin Kahuhano in the house and his lovely wife, Honey. Hi, brother. Good to see you. And say hi to the kids. Karedna! Hello! Appreciate the love on the stars, love. Tony, make it dip. What's up? Urban Gonzalez, Bear. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Tony, make it dip. Is asking me just brass tacks, okay? What do I think about Gardner? I think Gardner is a gutsy, tough, funny, ballsy quarterback. He has all the emotional skills that you want in a quarterback. He's not afraid to get hit. He will stand in the pocket when he knows a guy's going to drill him. But if the throw's got to be made, the throw's got to be made. And I even saw him do it a couple times in preseason. There were some pretty big linemen that got a real clean shot on him. And he just stood tall and threw the rock. And the ball was completed. He got drilled, and he got right back up, and he played well. He's tough. He's mentally tough. And he is just further along than AOC is. He just is. And we forget, because in this day and age of sports and technology and the internet and all the speed and all these different workout techniques and things that you can do for an athlete to get, to star level really fast. Look like at Brock Bowers, our new tight end. Look at Mike Mayer, our other tight end. I mean, they're studs. And just right out of school, they're studs. You know what I mean? And so we've kind of become accustomed to that, because over the decades, there's more universities than ever before putting players in the pipeline. So the talent level keeps going up every single year. Now guys that would have been third string in the past can't even make it on an NFL team. Guys that would have been second string in the past just barely make it on the team. That kind of thing. And the idea of the old days where a player was given 3 to 4 years to really show that they were a good player, to really latch on with the team, they would give them at least 4 years. That's been dead for a long time. I'd say probably a decade. They expect you to come in and be dope right away, or, they may put you on special teams for a little while, and then they're going to start thinking about either cutting you or trading you. I think Gardner Minshew is going to be nice for us. I think the only thing where he's going to hurt us is there are going to be times where his gambling won't pan out. He threw 2 balls in the preseason that were obvious interceptions where the defense just dropped them. In fact, I said this on my show the other night, but I have a few more people watching me, so I'll just bring this up again. But the last two games, the last game we just played in, Gardner Minshew and AOC in the exact same offense, on the exact same play, made the exact same mistake against the defensive cover situation. They both stepped back in their spot. They looked left, and then they delivered the ball to the defender, who was sitting there waiting, and then just cut in front of the receiver, and AOC's actually got intercepted. Gardner Minshew's did not. But it had nothing to do with Gardner Minshew making the right decision or throwing a better ball or anything like that. The defender just happened to drop it when Gardner Minshew threw it. So I'm concerned about that because you heard the coaching staff themselves also say that he's not as good in the pocket as AOC is. He's just better at everything else than AOC. But at that one quality, as far as hikes the ball, takes his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many steps, 3-step drop, 5-step drop, and then he sees any movement getting past the offensive lineman, he immediately starts rolling and cuts off half the field. And I hate that. And I watched him do it in the preseason. There were a couple times, and I guarantee you, if you guys have the game DVR'd, just go back and watch his few drives that he had. Every time there's a connection where the defensive line come up, they connect with the offensive lineman. If one of them swims or spins, even though they didn't beat the lineman, it just looks like they're going to, he will roll out when it was unnecessary. Whereas, AOC don't do that. He stands in the pocket, he looks for what's there, and he throws, or he gets a couple yards with his feet, or he just throws it in the ground, throws it out of bounds. You know what I mean? I'd rather a cerebral quarterback doing that than some guy trying to, for example, so many people are telling me, well, at least Gardner can run a little bit. Yeah, he could run himself into a hit. And if we've decided he's our starter, that's who we want because we feel like he's the better guy. So if he's running himself and getting blasted, pass. He'll go down. No matter how tough he is, he's not a big guy. That's just a fact. He's not a big guy. I'm not saying he's small by any means. He's a muscular guy. You know what I mean? He's got a good frame on him. He works out. But I don't think he's even 6'2". He's more like 6 foot, I think, if that. And don't anybody pull up his numbers and throw it at my face that he's 6'2" or 6'3", because he's not, okay? They just do that in the NFL. They make your measurements go up. And every time you see Gardner Minshew around all the other players, he's like the shortest guy out there, shorter than some of the wide receivers. So I don't love that. Bear, I read 2 articles. The same thing about why AP might have named Gardner Minshew the starter over Aiden O'Connell. Despite O'Connell doing a little better in training camp with injuries and whatnot going into this season, our offensive line might be a little suspect. In our first handful of games, we faced 3 of the top 5 defenses from last year, and Minshew is a little more mobile. Thoughts? Mobility often causes injuries, not wins. More often than not, the pocket passing quarterback that maintains the pocket. So if it loses integrity and he knows he's going to get drilled, you throw it high and hard out of bounds. Done. You know what I mean? But in today's NFL, they're not going to, smash you when you're in the pocket quite as much because the referees want to throw that flag for roughing the passer on any contact that looks aggressive. You know what I mean? Or driving him into the ground with your weight. So if he starts running, though, he's a free target. You see what I mean? And I don't like the idea of my starter doing that, especially when he's not Lamar Jackson. It's not really a weapon in his repertoire. He's just capable of running. I can run, but you would not want me to get hit if I'm the starter. I promise you. I'd be like, that's it. He got me in my sacroiliac. Bring out the stretcher. I'm not even going to try to get up. Don Wally D, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. I was going to say O'Connell was our dude. Well, Eric Jett, he is. I just think that insurance-wise, Uncle Rico's a little bit more insurance. You know what I mean? Troy Gill doesn't trust him. What's up, Troy? Welcome to the show. Troy, I don't blame you. He's a journeyman quarterback for a reason. Everybody wants to get excited because he may have won the job, and we all know his highlights. We've seen them. The guy has had some highlight reels. He has done some things with bad teams and won games. That is a fact. He's this era's Ryan Fitzmagic. If you don't know who Ryan Fitzmagic is, you're not really a football fan. I'm kidding. Someone really took that personal just now. Don't do that. Raider fan, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Sorry for the hiccup. Anna Diaz, Rincon, I'm still getting hiccups. Remember this Friday's game, you will not see the starters or DA play, so don't have a panic attack, folks. You know what? No, we're not going to see the starters. I think that they feel, the Raiders do, that what they've done in the preseason is already enough. And to be quite honest with you, I kind of felt the same. Because remember, they looked really good. I mean, they were getting in and off the field, almost no flags, no penalties. They were just playing good football. Whether or not they were, scoring a lot of points like Dallas did in that one game, which literally means nothing. I mean, guys, it literally means nothing. I can tell you from experience. When I was a coach and we would play preseason games, exhibition games, things like that against other high schools, and I would be coaching the one team, I was coaching basketball, boys and girls. And we would take the school I was coaching, we would go to this other school, and I would shake the coach's hand, and I'd tell him, we're playing an exhibition today, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, well, don't take it as disrespect if I don't have my girls pick you up full court, or we don't run traps, and things like that. I'm not interested in that. I just want to see our players get out there, play athletically, have a chance, and not us try to scheme them, because one player gets hot and now we decide we're going to double team them, all that other shit, yeah. What's up, Ma Bear?
Did you get coffee?
I did.
Okay, perfect.
Victor, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Hi, Rosa. What's up, Bear? Thank you for the love on your post on Facebook. We appreciate you and Mama Bear.
Aww.
Of course, brother. I posted the picture of that night we went out to dinner.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great night.
Yeah. Well, they're good company. George Prieto, what's up, George? Welcome to the show. That's my guy right there. Travis Kelly, the Chargers released quarterback Max Duggan. Honestly, Travis, it would have happened last week, but they were trying to get a team to bite on giving them something. Now, I want everyone to listen to this because I think you're not thinking about this. I know at least some of you aren't thinking about this, so remember this, okay? Max Duggan is being released because they couldn't get a deal for him, but that doesn't mean he's not good. Sometimes the other teams just don't want to get into a negotiation war with one of the other teams. So if suddenly a team shows interest and other teams that have more money find out, then they may move in on it. Whereas now, if he hits free agency, it's a free-for-all, best man wins. So sometimes teams will like to reach, and try to make a deal rather than let the guy reach free agency. But in this instance, they let him go. I don't think that reflects on him, though. I just think that they knew they weren't going to get anything for him. Mark Vargas said, we have to get our roster down to the 53-man by the 27th. Mark, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I really don't. I think we have a lot of health and depth at almost every position other than corner and linebacker. Outside of that, I think we look really good. Even on the offensive line, I like what's happening there. Thayer, Mumford, and DJ Glaze, they're going to hold the right side down. And we know how the left side plays. Colton Miller's back. He looks good. So if we get the left side back and healthy and the right side plays like we think, we're going to see an offensive line that people are going to start talking about. Because Andre James, he is a solid center now. Remember, he was kind of a project center when we first put him there. And now he's just got the job. They see him as so solid that they don't even need to put another center on the team to challenge him for his job. He's been that good. So we're in a good place, better than we realize. Okay, so the state of the Raiders. I said about the halfway point I would bring that up. So let's go back to that. So the state of the Raiders, in my opinion, George Prieto! Appreciate the love on the stars. 1 second. Okay, now I'm not auctioning this tonight. I'm auctioning this off tomorrow. So I'm giving everyone that's here a head start in getting to see what it is, and it is this. the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos Raider pub sign. As you can see, it's still got the hook on it. It's brand new. I just got this one in, and it will go to the contributor of the most stars tomorrow night. And look, it's wood, super tough. You can see I can't bend it. It's not plastic, so you don't have to worry about it breaking if it gets windy or anything like that. It's pretty dope. So that's tomorrow night. To the contributor of the most stars will go the Dia de los Muertos sign. And I'm going to, throw my patch in. Gilbert Hernandez. Orale! What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Good to see you, Raider fan. George Prieto. I think we're going to see a lot of the little ass boy. Joseph Bear. I agree with you, but he needs to stop running where there is protection when there's protection in the pocket. Well, Edgar, see, that's the problem. It's a catch-22. The nation wants a running quarterback. He hears that. The coach wouldn't mind a more dynamic quarterback. That's why our coach was so bummed that we lost Jaden Daniels to Washington. Because Jaden Daniels is looking more and more like the truth. A good arm, smart, legs, tough. You know what I mean? So that's an unfortunate miss for us, but there you have it. Tony Make a Dip. He reminds people of the snake only in appearance. I wish it was more about his football that made him seem like the snake, but we'll see. I mean, I won't lie to you. There is kind of a really nice image in mind. Speaking of nice images. Raider Bear. But there are images in my mind of this being like a Bad News Bears story, where no one predicts it, and we have all these holy roller kind of plays and ricochet balls that end up interceptions, and we just end up having this crazy free-for-all where there's a little bit of luck involved, a little bit of skill, and a little bit of Gardner being explosive with his throws every once in a while, and we just mess around, win 11 games, and go in the playoffs. I think it could happen. Now, Gardner Minshew is not bulletproof. He's been hurt in the past when he's quarterbacked at other teams. But I think this is going to be different. And I say that only because I want to say what I think most of us would do in this situation. If I had been on 2 or 3 other teams, and I've been in the league already for 6 years, that's not a short period of time. That's probably the life expectancy of 90% of the league is 3 to 5 years, and you're out of the league. So for Gardner Minshew to be in year 6, and he's only ever been a journeyman backup, speaks a lot to his ability. Now, having said that, if he ends up connecting with a few of these long balls and messes around and wins a game or two that we weren't supposed to win, and we get in the playoffs, the way he throws that deep ball to Trey Tucker, man, he hits Devontae a few times, mixes it up between our 2 all-pro tight ends, and then we run the ball, pushing it down their face with Zeus and Alexander Madison. I like what I'm seeing, guys. I really am. And I don't mind that the rest of the league wants to poo-poo it, because when you look at it, if you're not a Raider fan, you can't see it. But your reference to Stabler, I don't want to go into all that, but does it feel kind of like uncanny, his wild hair, his wild personality, even the like porn mustache, all Kenny Stabler kind of things? You know what I mean? I 99.9% of the time, if you said to me, "Oh, this guy's just like the Stablers or the Snake," I'd say, "Hey, man, he's like Ronnie Lott." Don't disrespect those guys. Those guys are Mount Rushmore legends. Okay, they're football gods, and you want me to say Gardner Minshew's like that guy? I'm just saying, I kind of see it. I do kind of get what he's talking about. I get the comparison. He does throw a nice deep ball. He is tough. He's not, the guy that everyone picked to be a great starter. And yet, here he is. I don't know. I'm already liking the story. Now if he starts winning, look out. Raider Bear, Valid's going to yell at me when she reads this. I did have a good dinner of what I call man food. No veggies for side dishes except garlic bread. I grilled a 16-ounce steak. Nice. Pete Almeida, what I think of the quarterback start position is just basically I see Gardner Minshew having more likelihood to have explosive plays, a higher likelihood to make good decisions a little faster. The only thing I saw that I felt AOC either did as well or better was understand pressure in the pocket. When the pressure in the pocket would come, I would see that our offensive lineman was still engaged, but they were getting moved back a little bit. But this is after 4 or 5 seconds. What AOC would do is just step. He just, does a little shuffle of his feet and moves himself a little bit further up in the pocket, maybe a little bit to the right, maybe a little bit to the left, depending, and then delivers the ball. Isn't that what we all want in a quarterback? Accurate, consistent, smart, uses the pocket. So I don't know what we're doing other than to say I know why AP did it. He is afforded more of a likelihood to have success with Gardner than he is with AOC. And if you make that decision and then AOC goes out there and he wets the bed and you're replacing him by week 4, as a coach, you look dumb. You know what I mean? Because if we had Gardner in, maybe he had won those 4 games, or maybe he goes 3-1, who knows? And the season would be in a totally different outlook. O'Connell said that the pick 6 was what did him in. Well, Eric Jett, not only do I agree with that, but it's because he threw it and the defender caught it. Whereas with AOC, with Gardner Minshew, he threw the exact same ball into the exact same protection, and the defense had the ball and they dropped it. Do you see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was on the edge of a knife which guy was going to win the startership, allegedly. But I honestly think now, and I was wrong in the beginning because I really thought this was AOC's team, that unless he imploded, it was going to be his team. And instead, AP went with the security blanket of experience, which is fine. James Garrison, I didn't see our D-line get 1 sack this preseason, and most of them played a good bit this preseason. I was disappointed. James Garrison, I can tell you that I know 1,000% 2 things, okay? 1, I am going to put you to bed tonight with a smile. No, don't make it weird. Don't make it weird. And 2, and more importantly, I'll explain why with 100% efficiency. Here we go. The defensive line was literally just rotating guys in and out for a preseason game to get them in shape, to have them bang pads, but that's it. They wanted to get everybody out of there and get them out of there healthy. More importantly, the scheme on defense was super vanilla. They wanted the guys to just play football, get on and off the field, and let's get the hell out of here, without getting hurt. That's why I try to explain, when you win a playoff, excuse me, I keep saying playoff. When you win a preseason game, it doesn't mean anything, but it means you executed well. You know what I mean? Whereas if you don't win the preseason game, it doesn't mean anything. You can lose and execute well. How many penalties did you see against our Raiders? Almost 0. How many times did you see, guys not know their assignments and where they're supposed to be? Almost 0. Everyone was professional, organized, on and off, knew they were supposed to be. It was running like a tight ship. And they just didn't want to show anything to the league or any looks to the league. That was actually spoken of during one of the last, it was Minnesota. And against Minnesota, they were just basically talking about, look, these are vanilla defensive looks they're giving these guys. They're not going to let them know, what they want to run until they're ready to run it. Jesse Parker, I like that. Minishew's characteristics remind me of Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon, formerly of the Chicago Bears. Pete Almeida, I think we can get somewhere between 9 and 11 wins. But I know I'm being kind of vague on that. I want to be clear. I did originally say 11 wins with AOC at the helm. But with Gardner going, and with how I feel, I think he could actually end up being the greater turnover machine. Now, if he's not, and he plays well, I think his good is a little better than AOC's good. A little. Because he's willing to attack downfield a little bit more than AOC is. Because AOC just still looks like a student that doesn't want the teacher to yell at him. Is it fair to say Mahomes is a scrambler too when the pocket is collapsing? Victor A. Remy, I would say this to you, brother. And good to see you again. Your guys' profile picture, you both look beautiful. I don't think of him as a scrambling quarterback. I think of him as what a quarterback should be able to do when certain plays break down. If you look back at one of the slowest, least athletic quarterbacks of all time, Tom Brady, he would, when a pocket broke down, he would just trot, 2 or 3 steps and slide. I don't understand why anyone would have a problem with that. More importantly, it becomes a running back play. If a running back averages 3 to 4 yards, we're all right with that. That's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. So he basically is giving you a running back play by just tucking the ball and running through the line and just get a couple yards and slide down. I don't really want more than that. You get hurt when you do more than that. You know what I mean? I don't want a running quarterback. I want a running quarterback that runs like we just described. John Souza, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Aloha back, brother. Raider fan, I'm doing great. Mama Bear's been feeding me like I'm a cow. Just she wants to get fat for a prize showing. Mauricio Cortez, I went to Raider practice yesterday. It was nice. Lucky that I live here. Mauricio Cortez, you just made every viewer I have very, very jealous, brother. Wow, that's a blessing, Mauricio. Jackson Powers Johnson won't play till week 1. Bob, I'm not too bothered by that, only because the era of all guys coming out of college as young, plucky pups that never had a surgery or an injury, that's been over for a long time. A long time. There are guys that come out of college and they've had 5 surgeries. Seriously. And they come out in the first round. Because they're athletes, they can ball. But now the level of talent, the speed, the banging, the amount of schools that now teach a pro-style program, at their school, like Alabama and, so on, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia especially. You go to those schools, you're going up against the biggest and the baddest and the fastest, in the league. So guys are coming into the NFL now. They've usually had a handful of banged up, have had surgeries, but not something to be alarmed about. Who do you think we're going to pick up in free agency? George, obviously I'd only be giving you an educated guess, but I'm going to go ahead and say I think we're going to load more on the defense. I don't think we're going to look for the quarterback. This Duggan guy, no matter what he is, if he's a real quality guy or not, how much time is he going to have to try to get into Luke Getsy's offense and actually be of any good to us? And even if, let's say, he was a better quarterback than either of the guys we have, is he going to be up to speed on things like the quarterbacks we have? No. So everything's going to be way more fluid if we just stick with Gardner Minshew and or AOC should he get hurt. Corinna, you're so cute. We have 2 career backups. AOC will likely get a chance to start, but he'll look like a backup. Raider DeVillion, welcome to the show. Honestly, Raider DeVillion, I just think that it goes back to what I was saying earlier. They don't allow guys to have 4 years to come to fruition anymore. To me, that really was, I don't know why that happened, but it always seemed to be the thing, like through the 70s, the 80s, and part of the 90s, that guys were given 4 years. It was just seen as you get a rookie 4-year deal, so you get to be in that 4-year deal until we figure out what we want to do with you. Whereas I could see if Tyree Wilson has another bad season this year, he's gone. He's gone. You know what I mean? They'll just trade him somewhere, and some team will give us a lot of money for him just because of his size, and because you can't teach size, and they'll all think that they can teach him, coach him up, because he's within that 4-year window. And see, they don't say it, but because they're not allowed to think that anymore because contracts are so expensive that the moment the guy gets there and signs on the dotted line, you better be good quick. We better know that we want to keep you quick. We got to know that every penny of this is you're worth it. You know what I mean? Jackson Powers Johnson is worth it. He's worth it. Jim Vandalin, no one will play hungover like the Snake. That's why he was a legend. Mike Guerrero, what's up, Naked Raider? Welcome to the show. As long as DA don't get any hospital balls, or he might really want to exit stage left. You know what, honestly, Armando, we get someone on Raider Nation talking about Devontae Adams leaving every day. And it's just, at this point, it's just people saying it because they want to be right. So they figure if they say it Monday, no. Tuesday, no. Wednesday? Oh, he's gone? I knew it! I'm a show host and I don't do that. You shouldn't be doing that on the street or coming in my comments. I knew that guy was a bum. I knew he was going to go to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers has been after him since day one. I told you it was a conspiracy, Bear. Putting foots in him. No. Oh, Al, Guffey, since you took the time to write it, I'll take the time to shout it. Raiders! Appreciate the love. Let us just remember the Detroit Lions were 4-0 in the preseason and then went 0-16, and last year Kenny Pickett was the greatest thing since sliced bread in Pittsburgh, and we see how that went. Well, Travis, now that's a name. If they let Kenny Pickett go, I would look at that. See, to me, Kenny Pickett is the classic example of a guy that's just trying too hard to show the team he's the man right away, because he was the man coming out of school. I mean, come on. I mean, we remember how good that guy threw the rock, okay? Kenny Pickett threw the rock, okay? And looked like, Smokey and the Bandit. I know it's an old reference, but you get it. But I liked him. I liked him coming out of school, and I blame Pittsburgh more for how they handled him than for how bad a quarterback he is. And I mean that seriously. I think Kenny Pickett, if he got together with the right offensive coordinator, he's still got something. I mean, look at Mac Jones. He finally got out of New England, and now he looks like he's going to steal that kid's job with the Jaguars. And he would deserve to have it stolen. He hasn't played that well. Yeah, Jim, I agree with that. What's your take on Dylan Laube? Anna Diaz, Dylan Laube will be probably the best screen pass receiver / running back in all of football, because we're going to destroy people with the Dylan Laube screen. There's going to be a Dylan Laube screen pass. Just remember the Bear prepared you for that. So when you see it, you're like, oh, okay. There's this play where they just have him set up almost like an I formation, and they have him at the fullback position, like he's going to block for the running back behind him. Then when the quarterback starts to go through his cadence, he takes a step to motion either right, or he motions with his left foot that he wants him to go left, whichever way. And then let's say in this instance, he motions with his right. Now Dylan Laube's going to come up, go into motion, line up like a wide receiver just inside of the number 1 or the number 2 if he's on the other side of the field. And then once the ball is snapped, he's just going to fake run forward and then stop and give the quarterback immediately a target, having moved up only maybe 2 yards. Now, the reason he'll be able to do this is because the wide receiver, the tight end, and the offensive line are all expecting Dylan Laube to come back, get the ball, and then have blockers in front of him. Because Dylan Laube is one of the best in football, in my opinion, already. And he hasn't even ran the play yet. If you saw him in college when he was running this play, it was genius. It was lethal because they could run the play over and over again because you can mask that same play in different formations. So you'll keep tricking the defense, because if you can get the play off without them recognizing it at first, their defense is ill prepared for it. Whereas if you see it coming, you can drop back, play more of a read and react defense, and then you might be able to, have greater success for it on defense. But so many teams play, go get the quarterback, go get the quarterback. They're going to run right by him. He's going to have blockers in front of him. He knows how to move those blockers. For example, if he sees someone coming over from his left in his vision, he's going to move to his right so his blocker, whoever he has there, sees him too and gives him a chance. He's just really, really smart. His sight lines are really good. I'm excited. And there's going to be a play or two. There's going to be a play or two where Dylan Laube is going to get a punt return or a kick return. Because if he beats that first curtain the way they do it now, where, you can't move till the ball is caught, when that first curtain hits, Dylan Laube is going to see the blocks. He's going to see the hole. And if he gets through that first curtain, he can roll, man. That guy can roll. Remember the old movie where they would say white guys can't jump? No, the other one they say white guys aren't as fast as black guys? Not Dylan Laube. Dylan Laube is no joke. He is the little white blur. Cheddar Bob can move. Jerry Kester, sup bear, Stockton 209 in the house. My apologies, haven't stopped by in a moment. Super excited for the season. GM or Gardner Minshew or AOC was basically a coin flip. But I think that Gardner Minshew gives us a better opportunity to make plays with an offensive line that collapses, but that will be an opening for more interceptions. Let's get this season going. Raiders! Beautiful comment, brother. And I would say this to you. I think everything you said is correct except the collapsing offensive line. I don't think that that's what we're going to be anymore. Now, are we going to be perfect every play? No. But are we going to be able to generate time for that quarterback out of 10, 12 plays? I would say 8 of them. Honestly, 8 out of 12, he's going to have a pocket, an opportunity to really stand there, really see, make his reads, and deliver. That will happen. Okay. John Lyon said, would you take Max Dugan, Duggar, whatever, over our current third-string quarterback? Well, we brought Carter Bradley back. That's our former coach, Gus Bradley's son. We had brought him in, we released him, then we brought him in again. And now we have Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Connell, Carter Bradley, and that other guy, Nathan Peterman. So we have 4 quarterbacks on the roster. They will not all survive the 53-man cut. So once the 53-man cut comes in, either Nathan Peterman or Carter Bradley will be gone. My money's on Carter Bradley. Because if one of your first guys, AOC or Gardner Minshew, goes down, you don't have a lot of experience behind AOC. So if he goes down, you got Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew's a lifetime journeyman. If you're suddenly depending on him to be a number one, you are technically taking a risk, you know what I mean? Because most of those guys that are number 2s, they haven't gone through an entire season of being the number 1. So they don't understand the amount of, pressure and mental pressure that puts on you when you're on week 12, week 13, and you hear all the fans, shouting, we can do it if we win our next 3, we'll go to the playoffs, blah, blah, you know what I mean? A number 2 quarterback just thinks they can walk in and do it, and oftentimes they have all the mental skills, but they don't have the fortitude to be good that many games every single weekend. Bring your best. It's hard to find guys that can do that every single weekend. Really, with confidence, show up out there and deliver. All right, let me see here. Terry Dahl said, I'm taking my daughters to their first Raiders game, week 1. I can't wait for them to experience a Raider tailgate and the nation in action. 10-win season, here it comes. First, salute the daughter dad, Terry Dahl, and that picture is amazing. They are beautiful, brother. God bless you. That's amazing. I have been blessed with only 1 daughter, so I'm jealous. I have 3 boys, though. 3 knuckleheads, I often say. Wow, that's exciting, man. Welcome. That's really cool. Welcome the girls to Raider Nation. I want all that you said AOC has, plus elite skills to extend plays with his legs. Make something out of off-script plays and make first downs with his legs. When everything breaks down and no one is open, neither of them can do it. So we're still looking for a franchise QB1. We just got to pray and wish we got a team with a Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson to get us rings this season. A ring this season. Now, okay, Lucky, as usual, I love your comments. You always make a point that I can kind of pivot off of. But I love what you said there. Trent Dilfer, though, brother, Brad Johnson, I know why you made those references. Those guys were traditional number 2s who actually won a Super Bowl. So it's doable. We've done it twice from the wild card. And I don't think Gardner Minshew is so bad or has so many drawbacks that we can't win with that guy. And I mean that seriously. All these other quarterbacks that they say he's a first-round talent, that's their opinion. Sometimes those first-round talents come in and they don't play well at all. And some other guy comes in and they got him in the 4th string and he's a stud. And I hate saying this, but look at the Brock Purdy kid and Sam Teclara. Niner fans. They don't even know where they are anymore. We're the San Francisco 49ers. No, you're not. You're the Santa Clara Niners, okay? Just get over it. Change the logo. SC, not SF anymore. If you keep it SF, we get to make it up what it is. It means stupid. Stupid ducks. Now replace that D with an F. Yeah, Val, I love Kenny Pickett too when he was coming out of school, but he did play bad for you guys. But I believe that's because you're primarily a defensive team with a defensive head coach. And so the offensive coordinator, the offensive head coach, they don't have the kind of assistance and background to make that guy what he was in college. But we do. Go ahead and give him to our guy, Luke Getzey. Let's see what we can do with him. Alexa, resume! All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. R8RBEAR! Bob, I will be on tomorrow at 4. I will try to put up an announcement for it, but I will be up. And I will be up tomorrow at 4. I'm finally out of my schedule of driving my daughter in. 10 roads. I got it in. Space Force. Don't doubt it, Denton. Good night, everyone. Good night, Eric Jet, Raider Devillion, Mark Vargas, Steeler Val, Tommy, Troy Gill. Much love, Anna Diaz, Rincon, Lucky Pace, Mark Vargas, Terry Dahl. I Spy with my little eye.